Keith, I had a system outage on my V1, so I couldn't get to this right away, but I'm going to review what we did here. So we're trying to keep you out of left field here, basically. And again, when you play the golf ball back further in your stance, all that's going to have you do is meet it earlier in the arc, in the swing arc, this part of the arc. It's going to be swinging to the right, so your path will be to the right, and the face, let's say, if I can draw this, I don't know if I can draw this, let's say a club face. That would be square there. Okay. If I take it back this way, now let's say I put the same line on this. Okay, now the club face is closed to that path. The golf ball, flight of the golf ball is controlled by the face in relation to the direction of the swing. And the more you move it back here, and everybody who hooks does, the more the face is going to be closed. Now if we continued this concept on, out here, the same face would be open. So you're trying to meet it as late in your swing arc as you can. That's counterintuitive to the ball going left. Okay, you with your swing and the amount that you get to work on it, you have to keep your grip on the weaker side. A very wide swing. Your weight gets to the outside of your right foot, which is not good for hooking. Your left arm breaks down, and you have a cast of the club. And the left arm again breaks down. So it's basically an early flip of the club. So with the left thumb long and the right hand on top, we can take some of that flip out of there. But this club being over here and your hands still being, you wouldn't want to meet this club actually until your hands are by your left leg. See if I can find a driver model here for you. It's an iron. It looks like Luke Donald to me, but I'm not sure. But I'm just selecting it randomly to show you what I mean by there's where the impact is. Any great striker of the ball is lining up the club against their left side. See how I see none of his left side? His hands are over by his left pocket at the time he met the ball. Okay, that's controlling the swing with the body. Okay, in your case, what happens is at impact, your hands are still very much in the middle of your body. They stop, the club head gets thrown, and it flips over sometimes. Up on your toes early. So there's some homegrown issues in your golf swing. And what I can do is tackle the problem. The reason you'll have par, triple if you're playing would be because of the hook primarily because of the hook. So I would focus on, all the good fundamentals: weaker grip, staying more centered on the shot, setting your wrist earlier. That's what bringing you in closer to the ball did. We can't have this wide arc with all that flip in it and still not hook sometimes. So that's key. Okay, so we'll watch it from here. So we're going with weak grip. We moved in. It's going to feel crowded, but that's the only way that we're going to change the path. And I've got to get this path out of right field, out of inside out, so to speak, so that we can get your club face less closed to the ball when you hit it. So you drop it under the plane there. So your forte is your speed. We know that we don't have to work on that because that's a natural for you. But we've got to watch coming from this far inside of the ball. That club should never get underneath of your original shaft plane. And if it's going to meet it back, if you move that ball back, you can actually have a square face hook because it'll be square at impact, but where it's coming from in relation to the direction that it's traveling in over so many seconds. See, when you do hit it there, you're going to push it out to the right, but that's when we're going to get some loft on it. Yeah? Club face gets open at the top with that flying elbow, and then it gets flipped closed at the bottom. So this is probably where the flip started, is that the club face gets open when your elbow flies like that. But that's what we want. We want it not square, because that would make the hook problem worse, but we want to make it so that you can actually not have to flip it all the way down. And again, we can see which way that's traveling, out this way. We would definitely want you to open your hips as much as possible and bring the club over this way with you. In other words, we're trying to create a path that's more outside in. And that's hard for somebody hooking it. So I would set up closer to the ball. I would set up open, ball forward, weak grip, and do your level best to try to move your body as much as you can through it, because you really ripped a couple of these irons. You're going to get a lot more out of it that way too. That's my advice for you. Setup there is good. A little loose in the backswing, but here's what we want to try to avoid. We want to make sure that you're, instead of moving laterally at the ball as you're doing here, we would want to see one knee, not two. We would want to see one knee early. So that means you're clearing out. You're not sliding out and throwing the club head. Because if the body is not completely opening to the target, the club face is going to be closed relative to the path. Okay, you got to understand that. So the only way you're going to get over the snap hook issue with your swing regularly is to get used to setting up close to it, left of target, ball forward, and opening your body as early as you can with that weak grip. I think the closer may do that, because think about it, the closer you stand to a golf ball, the less room you have to come from the inside. For example, if we play golf with the ball between our feet like this, nobody would come from inside or outside. We'd have a perfectly Ferris wheel type of swing, but we don't. And your arc is too hard on this side. It comes too much this way. So you have to offset it by setting yourself open. And I've had days of playing golf where I set myself up 10 yards open sometimes, just so I would cut across it and keep the fade in play. And that's what we had toward the end of the lesson. Okay? All right. Good luck and happy holidays.